Hello, 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 hello. What's good? It's been a short while. I hope everybody's doing all right. And I haven't been here since the 14th of February for people on Facebook, that is, on YouTube, since before that. But welcome. I'm happy that everybody's on here. And to our venue host, Cafe Wani, as usual, thank you so much for always hosting us and letting us do our thing here. To our new subscribers, old subscribers, it's always a big thank you to everybody collectively. Thank you so much for following this journey. And yeah, so today I always have special guests. So today I have yet another special guest, and I'm very excited to introduce him. Yes, I just give it away. I'm very excited to introduce him to you guys and get to know who this person is, what he does, how he gets to do what he does, and all of that. So please stay tuned, stay glued as we get into it. We're back. I'm back. So as we can see, as you all can tell, I am not alone. I am with a very special guest, another household name. I've been having Mufulira household names for a while now. This is another household name, Mr. Peter Muvumbi. Is it Muvumbi or Muvumbi? Is there a you? Muvumbi.
Correct.
Welcome to TSA Unplugged podcast, sir. It is an honor to have you on here, and I'm very grateful for the time you've awarded us to at least sit down and get to know you better. Thank you so much.
A great pleasure is mine as well.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to be part of big things.
I know big things, yes.
You are big things.
Yes, I know. I receive.
Wonderful.
I receive. No, thank you so much. So before we get into it, I have a special box.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it's tradition.
Oh yeah.
Every guest I have has to go through this box.
Hey.
Yes, ma PG shine, PG 18, PG shine. Family questions.
Nothing. Salam.
So I'm going to box up my paper.
Okay.
Yes, you go through the paper.
Oh yeah.
You read it for us and answer the question.
Lovely.
So we can do number 5 of these, then get into what
I can still.
You can pick them, Charlie, more.
Okay.
Yes. So that we.
Let me do this.
Okay.
So go for 5.
5. Okay, we can do the 5 you pick, right?
Okay.
5 is good.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So first question.
So this one says. Okay. Let me. If you could be an animal.
Mm-hmm.
What animal would you be and why?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Probably being an animal is something that we speak about figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know it may not sit well with everybody else, but in my own view, I would I'm talking about a dog. Yeah.
Okay.
That animal, very precious. I find that animal to be more caring than things that we look at to be other beings failing to do. They say a dog is a man's friend.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to be, I would safely be that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man's best friend. Okay, that's interesting. I think everyone who picks this question always gives.
Hopefully, by the end of the episode, I'm not going to begin to look for a beware of the dog sign.
I'll hopefully not. hopefully
Oh yeah.
not.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The next question.
The next question. So this one's falls off. Mention at least 3 things that makes you happy. things that makes me happy. Number one is not to think about anything. Number two, I enjoy being confused. Number three,
Okay.
I enjoy when I'm speaking in silence. Yeah, so those three things.
Not to think.
Being confused, and speaking in silence.
Now I'm confused now with these choices because yeah, Shani. All these involved. It's like, do you enjoy being alone?
Not really being
Not
alone.
really?
Not really being alone.
Okay.
When I'm not thinking, people must be there.
Okay.
And what comes out when I'm not thinking, I'll get to know the ambient environment around me. People will begin to make expressions.
Okay.
And I will learn about what is going on about myself.
Okay.
Here's the thing, people would say, Wila tontonkanya sa. But the question that I ask is that when someone is thinking, what do they think about? Is it something they know or something they don't know?
Yeah.
If you know it, why think about it?
Okay.
And if you don't know it, why bother yourself in the first instance thinking about it?
Yeah.
So when I am not thinking, I feel those that feel things must go this way will speak. And all I will do is learn from whatever, and I'll pick.
Okay.
And sometimes when I'm in a state of confusion, sometimes being confused is an optimum moment of happiness. This is what I've learned. Why? Because I have the freedom to just interact with myself when I'm confused. And I've learned that you can draw power and energy and learn a lot from people that are confused.
Do we mean metaphorically or literally?
Literally, so.
Okay.
It's very powerful.
Confused man on the streets and okay.
I'm one person that draws so much strength from people in that state.
Okay, interesting.
Either way, I would talk about it literally. Let me center on that. What are the benefits when somebody is confused? There's less arguments, and you fall for the idea very easily. What do I mean? If, say, we bring about a suggestion and we have people that are brilliant, they are all thinking, they think they're so intelligent, arguments will ensue.
Okay, yeah.
And in the end, you fail to win because each one wants to bring about a brilliant idea. But ask me, are they doing what they're telling us? Oftentimes, it's none doing it. And that's why, society-wise, because we feel we are so intelligent, you would realize that people that win are those we look at with a low eye.
Yeah.
They tend to win. How are you, sir?
How is the baby?
We are okay, sir.
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
You can proceed,
So,
please. Yes.
I almost got confused at something that I love. So that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Being confused gives us a bit of freedom. Why? And the the confused state that I'm talking about, either being mad, literally, is very powerful. There is a pandemic breaking out. The intelligent will get to worry. Their focus will be, what is this person saying about the remedy?
Okay, I'm getting.
Everybody goes into that state.
Yeah.
But look at those that could have another state of mind. Look at them as not being in their normal state. They will be like that, and the pandemic would never sweep them. They will remain standing. So there's so much that I learn from that state.
Okay.
And when you apply it at individual level, it's something that helps so much, and it helps a great deal.
Okay, no, now I think now I get the context. I was thrown off there. I'm like confused. Okay, no, I get the context.
So do we move?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay,
yes.
so Favorite local artist at the moment. It will be very surprising. The favorite local artist at the moment. There are many.
Okay.
There are many that I envy so much, many that I look up to, many that inspires me so much. I can even mention them. They may not particularly come to attend to this question. If you permit that I make mention of those, but typically preserving the favoritism to this particular artist that I'm going to mention.
This particular one.
But maybe the particular one. I'll mention, I've got a daughter, Stacy Muvumbi. She's into art.
Okay.
One thing that inspires me so much about this artist in making is that she's carried so much into fear. And to me, that is an element of greatness. The fear of is a beginning of something. It's only when there's the absence of strength from the outset that you position yourself to begin to want to possess that which is great.
Yeah.
I very much, inspired by what she does. Some of it, she does it when I am looking, and that doesn't surprise me so much. But what really takes my breath is to realize things that she's able to do in my absence.
Okay.
And all I do is see results.
Okay.
I have not wished to wait until she blossoms to greater heights, because this is a mistake that we make. We want to appreciate a fully fledged, product.
Yes.
And fail to just be there at its infancy, which is even a more critical stage, that if something has to stand, you have to live with it way down and come along with it way up.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I'll talk about Stacy Muvumbi, and that's my daughter.
Okay, well, that's beautiful.
Others will argue
That's
because
beautiful.
they will say maybe they have not seen what she does. I've seen it.
No, that's beautiful. That's
thank
actually very, very beautiful.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
So, favorite local song at the moment. My favorite local song is surprisingly the national anthem.
No, it's really it's rare when someone says surprisingly and they actually surprise you.
Actually,
rare.
the national anthem
Okay.
teaches me something. Whether you know it or you don't know it, it's either you stand still to it or you just feel it. And I believe that everybody is very receptive to the message that it carries.
Yes.
Look at it. I've come across other forms of music playing. People go about with their businesses and all that. Here is a song which comes at a command. And I wonder why DJs on radio don't just include it on their playlist. Just have it playing during, some, some drive of some sorts.
They can even mix. I know that's wrong, right? Is it wrong? Mix it up.
I wonder why people
Okay.
think it's wrong, but that is our own. And, we boast about it to be our own, but people don't know that is something that you can pick and just love.
Yeah.
And I would say my favorite local song at the moment,
The national anthem.
it's a national anthem.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
What advice would you give your 16-year-old self? I've been 16 years old before. And if there's something that I enjoyed at that particular moment, is looking at everybody expressing what I would become.
Okay.
Others said ukaba ekipuba. Others said ukaba omutunturu. So when someone said ukaba ekipuba, fyali omufika bwino okukita kufya bupuba palape. But futi bafulwa. Futi bafulwa. So if I were to give an advice to somebody, or rather to myself at 16, I would say, amatwi tayabomba ayobe baliryanshita leka abakwetya amatwi eyo balebomfya eyo wende nayo. What do I mean? Everything that comes, somebody at that tender age feels you should just grasp it. Whatever they tell you, you just have to grasp it. But in the end, how many people win out of it? People can answer for themselves.
Okay, no, beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. I think I've exhausted
your 5 questions. You have. You really have in depth.
Can I take a seat?
Yes, please. You really have in depth. Okay, so I think even just as we are moving. Just y'all can tell what guest I have. If I then get into asking him who he is and what he does, I think you have an idea. If you're not familiar with him, I think you're beginning to get the idea.
Imonture mwana kwati wale kulufyanya kancho fulefo wamfabwe
kumfisha bwino
kamwasanga wapo ile situation nakwati muri pamaliro chimuntu nachikara chire umfisho uluse abala fenta kubulanda chiretero bwali chaja mwa tire wife muntu
okay. All right. Yeah. Mr. Peter Muvumbi.
Yes, madam.
I don't know how serious he's back at being serious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Peter Muvumbi. For people that are not familiar with you, just a brief introduction of who Peter Muvumbi is.
Okay.
Yes.
So, this introduction is going out to all people that are under me in age.
Okay.
Those that are above me, ngatamwanjisha balwe mukayapila po michito yenu. So I am Peter Seman Muvumbi, born of Mr. Zion Muvumbi. May he so rest in peace. He was a Kaonde Ila man from Mumbwa, village Muvumbi, Chief Kabulwe. By the way, I'm a Kingsman.
Is it?
I should have been Prince if I took it seriously, because I've got a dwelling. Nikumushine. No mbaya bi paka ibarabe na bafyali bakumushikumushiku mwabone ko so fyali ko fya kumushi. So born of a Kaonde Ila man, village Muvumbi, Chief Kabulwe, meaning that by tribe.
Yeah.
That should be Kaonde Ila.
Okay.
Apparently my mother is an Easterner, Mary Nkoma Muvumbi.
Okay.
She's still very much alive. Having been born many years back, almost retiring from my 40s, catching up with the 50s pretty soon, just counting. Yeah. It's been a journey. Of course, na fierwa kaichi. Because I want to kumona kwa tilimbinga leko bata ushpa kwa tawashpa na fie chaichi. Na fiero cha brown san chibe. It's suma. Mbaba queen Jimmy oh baby. Tuasika tuwa fita. So here's Peter Muvumbi, born almost I would say 46, 47 years ago. I've lived all my life here in Mufulira.
Okay.
What I mean is that I've never been to any place of dwelling. I've lived in Mufulira. Been born and brought up here in Mufulira.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. I knew you through the events I sometimes do.
Yes.
Annually, and I remember this one event we had Mr. Peter Muvumbi, and the crowd was there cracking up to his jokes, and I'm like, oh, okay. So my aspect, I had to now dig deep into researching on who Mr. Muvumbi is, aside from that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But before I get into, because I know you as what I know, correct me where I'm wrong, comedian, master of ceremony. Master of ceremony is Kaya. Yes.
I'm an events man.
Events manager.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I was also made to know that you actually once a minor.
Yeah.
So before I come into touching into your works, into your art rather, I would like to get to know like your professional career. Okay. Let's say like in school, when you passed through school, when you were done, what did you do right after school? Okay. Did you just get straight into comedy, or what did you get into right after school?
Remembering everything else that I got into, maybe a huge mountain to climb, but in the nutshell, then let me begin from primary school. My primary school, fair, Wanungia, grade 1, that was Chivolia Primary School. Schooled from there well up to grade 7.
Okay.
So in the same space of my school career in primary, I lost my father at a very tender age. I remember that was when I was clocking into grade 2.
Okay.
So meaning the journey was a little rough. I must say it was rough. People were making decisions for me. And having been left with a single mother to take up responsibility of raising her 4 children, male only, it was quite a battle. At a point that I got to grade 7. Here is a story. I failed to make it for very obvious reasons. And somebody takes advantage, picks me. I become a maid in brackets. You think you are going for mayonnaise and butter. You become an errand boy. It's a tough journey.
Yeah.
Here is somebody that is barefoot always. Is uniform. The last bought one was in grade 3. Is in pieces. Somebody is encouraging you to put it on. You wake up from home, going to school. Now, you just want to be behind everybody. You don't want anybody to be in front of anybody, because they will see how tattered you are. In the end, mukuru shati kuibo muntu kunu makaita wa imbeshe. Ule tina tibalaba le yansha abachire kaibala mona magagi. So eventually ngasa fipanga ba nala imine na palopene ni shku imine na fe palapene wa isanga na kusukulu tawile. A year comes tawa yapa. Kunga ndako daba ishwa tulabe na balo mfabu ino kainchi na magagi ule. Walira pepo. Fast forward, yashupa grade 7. Wabwela kukuba fyashuwe bakumwena matu okulia. Just like that. Uluselo wakwalesa. Kalaka opportunity no kalusa. Kamune kanakambika chance aka kuwekesha tuwapasa.
Okay.
Wapasa kwali wakukuru kupasa kwa tuwapasa wafyanya. Wantu waona olo program ya abantu tabachikubika. Wafumisha kwisamana ya kujikirisha apati, you know. Yeah, so fast forward grade 9 tuwapita I found myself at Muvumbi Secondary School.
Okay.
Finished from there. Abantu bebaya mayunza walulesha ka confidence ta ukwete sana kalaka kweba ta ine nala isanga kuyunza. Waba confused, and it's from that state that I learned survival. In that state of confusion, I looked at myself, and every little ability that I discovered, I got close to it. So from the academic point of view, here's a person that from secondary school does not find himself into the mainstream college and all that. Wamba fiokula pitana, will pass straight now. What do I do to make ends meet? I realize, ngati class twalepanga kwe chongo. So chile chongo twalepanga tuwere profe. Nambo kuibukisha fumo kwa tulepange chongo abantu baleseka. You know, I mobilized myself along that sense. I could pick up myself, and one man's show. Wafaya kali skulu, wayacha hapo ka drama, wakulipira kwa something. Washtaka bunga wa mfamu. Fast forward, twabomba pone nchito shine abantu bamwena matu awe ni bagadi. I think I remember having saved one of security firms, long-standing in our country, Zambia, and it has its presence still here in Mufulira. Okay. I may not wish to give them, you know, free publicity, but I work for that security firm, and it is from that moment that I had a privilege, because I was serving under a superstore. Okay. It became a point of interaction. People coming, you know, people living. I found an opportunity to just, you know, keep sharing. Where I could help somebody, I found myself helping. And in the end, I found myself working for the mines. Okay. There at the mines, I just started as a general worker. Okay. Wadiafeno tumaka tuwabufi, wakutuma donse tumbo, adonsa, stefi, mule fola, plape na tuwali sasa mbili fingo, isho kukufuasa, isho kwenye kongole ya ichibanda. Tuwali pita mwuri la life. Ya kwa tu, ule bomba tawanyi na kai problem if tuwalisa umfabu ino tuwala bako kuba confused. We started hoping, you know, stuff like. So here's Peter Muvumbi was working on the mines. I still realized I'd carried myself on with my talent. Side by side, it was working. Moments that I was not doing anything, I had something to do. Mobilizing myself along the talent, going out to schools, performing. I would jump on a bus, start off a journey from here, going to Lusaka with nothing. The first thing I would do is just crack a joke on the bus. So before whatever conductor tabaranda tripire ni kunuma. Baminish bafire na bapiribuka bakumfa bino baranda na alamu ni piriro. So nguta wachikwata nishwakwa wakwata. I remember having gone through such, you know, a moment where from Mufulira to Kitwe, cracking jokes on the bus. I jump on the bus going to Lusaka, same fashion. I ended up finding myself in Kamwala. Na shita kuno tumashati sila tutuma igori. Waisara mkusha kula 10 kuli washmain 10 kwacha. Okay. So the confidence began to build. I am on the mines. I realized that there's something that I had. And coming to the issue of talent, because it's something that I've lived along with in all this that I've done, but it hasn't been so much amplified. But here's a moment. How did I begin to discover myself? There's a firm that came at school. They were into direct marketing communication. Okay. I formulated something that stands up to now. There's an interpretation that has gone viral, comic interpretation, where somebody is reading in English and I'm doing the interpretation in Bemba. It's there all over. And mostly people don't know the actual individual behind it. Those were my works way back in school. Okay. So from there, I realized that there was something in me. Here is the thing. When we left school momentarily, we formed up a group that was into singing. Okay. So each time that we'd get on stage, I was the one doing the introduction of the very group. when our turn came that we were to perform, I was the one introducing. Even before we left school, I was into choir. Wherever we went, be it a festival, I was always given that task to introduce my group. So even when I left, here is a person who started with a single family, giving me a task to be an MC at their very event. I realized that people can make money out of it. So side by side, I wanted to begin to strengthen it up. I am on the mines. I realized this is what I was doing when I was in school. Momentarily, when I left school, I was on the streets. I worked myself around, talent and built a life out of it. Even when I found a job on the mines, be it when I worked as a guard at that particular moment in that store, I found myself very useful. I was mimicking Indians. I would speak in an Indian accent, and I was given privilege to, advertise products within the shop. And I would do it. People would think it's an Indian behind that voice. So even when I joined the mine, I realized that it's something that I never wanted to drop. I carried myself, and I realized that besides other things that I could be able to offer to the mines, I was more identified with as a comedian, as an entertainer, as somebody that has talent. So from there, I just woke up and I decided to say, aside being a miner, I just want to venture into building this phase as a comedian.
All right, nice. While still going with the MCing as well.
Yes.
I want to know the inspiration of the MCing.
So like I said about the MC, it started way back, like I'd mentioned of the formation of a group. That wherever we went, I was doing the introduction. I would talk about my group. We are the so and so. We are here to give you ABCD. And people identified me that way. And the people that identified me introduced me to the floor by giving me a task. I wasn't sure I was an MC, but that task of an event, a wedding in particular, of great people, of people, made me, I just develop a thought to say, I could fit in.
All right. So are you currently still with the mines whilst you do other things, or maybe there's a part of your life now that has moved and shifted and we've moved from there, or we're still?
When I worked with the mines, it's because of the talent that I got identified. There's no department where I needed to introduce myself. Everybody knew me. And I became a figure on the mines. I became useful in as far as formal communication, transmission of particular activities, those that needed to be less with the artistic impressions. I found myself there. I stood with the senior most officials of the mine during times that events took place, be it corporate or whatever. I had that privilege. So what do? I gained myself. I thought of building myself, strengthening myself by things that would apply in things that I thought about. So whilst on the mines, I remember having been serving as MC on the mines, but I had a privilege out of the familiarity that I had gained into improving myself. I had a privilege to be taken to school by the mines. And I trained firstly in process instrumentation, instrumentation and process control. That is, I had a privilege to be trained in refrigeration and air conditioning. And when I left the mines, I worked in several departments, including refinery, that's production, quality assurance, and ended up with engineering department. And I decided to give it a quit. I quit I resigned in the year 2018 to pursue and just confront the freedoms that were around myself as an artistic person.
Okay. All right.
So this is where the full-time journey of being a comedian emanates from.
Okay.
When I left the mine, the freedom, the corridors that I traversed were of becoming a full-time driven comedian.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. I want to get into, let's say, stage name. I was given when we're dealing with each other at that time. I was like, oh, Mr. Muvumbi.
Yes.
Mr. Muvumbi, do you have a stage name, or it's just what led to you? Let's start with, do you have one first? If the answer is no, what was your driving force? Was it for originality's sake that you wanted to maintain the name, or you just did not think of something?
Okay. The originality part comes in so handy and very important to me. Why? Because I wanted to give it back to my father.
Oh, okay.
He is a person that I never lived with, but there are a few things that I remember that my father used to do that really helped me. And one of the things that I do remember well, that my father would always whisper, he always wished that I could be known everywhere I would go.
Okay.
All right. So, picking up something of this origin would be amiss to keeping up with the pledge to honor my father. So I decided to go by my name as Peter. All along, I've been plying myself as Peter. Until the presence of my children, and they decided, no, Daddy, we are adding this. Something that I appreciated so much. So this is how come the comic was born. So naturally, Peter Muvumbi the comic. Yes.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Speaking of, you've spoken highly of it. I'm sure you in terms of, let's say, what drives you, I'm sure most of that comes from. Yes.
Honestly, I'm somebody that has learned that I had a difficult journey coming up to where I am. But I do not regret, because they say that company ruins good morals and all that. If I was so comfortable, I could have missed this privilege. It's out of the anguish, it's out of the confusion, it's out of, the uncertainty that I faced, that I built up myself to be where I am. Of course, I do not carry all of it to myself. There are forces around that works. Some of it as spiritual, some of it are divine. I would say all this works provided there's faith and all that. I am where I am, having been graced and been privileged to be a family man and bearing children. They are my right spot in terms of resource that would be viable to things that I wish to see stand. And it is against that background that we set up what we are calling the Top Line Just Business Solutions. So Top Line Just Business Solutions, it hovers around what I do. It's not in isolation. Top Line Just, we are talking about anything done in amusement. So the landmark resource for me is my children. That's why the directorate aspect is handled by my children. All these other things, be it the littlest, they are aligned to this activity. Whether they are active or passive, a time will come, God willing, that they'll stand and find this that which we have planted.
No, that's beautiful.
Yes.
What else? I think this was supposed to be sweet and short. To keep it that way. Any advice you might have for, let's say, any upcoming comedians that are still trying to find themselves? They don't know how to navigate that particular aspect. In regards to that art, how can they find themselves and go about the art?
In terms of art is a talent, and talent is a natural gift. You are born with it. It's not makeshift that you want to acquire that skill from elsewhere for you to become. You are inseparable. Your talent and yourself are inseparable. So, one thing that you must do is that let your talent, work for you, unlike where you should labor to work for your talent. What do I mean? Most people, we find ourselves missing a point. You want to force people to believe you, believe in what you do. Here is Peter Muvumbi. I had the privilege to be on stage way before, the breakout of social media and all that. This gave me a privilege to have, grassroots support. Where even if I've not posted an advert, I will have somebody, because I've worked with them well, they would recommend me to the next person.
Yeah.
Why? Because I permitted myself naturally to let the art in me, to let, the talent in me flow and lead the way. Not like you just want to force things. You just want to advertise that everybody must just believe it's you who's there. No.
Yeah.
So those that are coming up now, the first thing that you do is just keep building yourself and keep bringing out what you know.
Yeah.
People will stand still for you, just like that local song that I love, the national anthem. People will be forced to stand for you. And this is the benefit that I've seen. And I have realized that most of these our young and upcoming miss, because they force themselves to build another identity and leave themselves out of it. Popularity. You are chasing popularity, but who are you into that popularity? They end up, getting indulged, indulging themselves into things that are, off. So the best advice would be, if you have it, that is you. Just believe it is you. You are the talent yourself. God has given it to you. And if there are things that God bless, it's a talent.
Yeah.
There are so many things that are blessed, but I believe that it is given to me, and that is me.
It's embedded in you.
It is embedded in me.
True.
Sure.
All right.
No.
Mr. Muvumbi, thank you so much for gracing this podcast with your presence, and I hope we can have you again in future for a lengthier episode with a particular topic that we can now dissect and get into. Yes.
Lovely.
I appreciate the time you spared, and thank you so much once again.
Pleasure's mine.
Yes, so we've come to the end of our episode with Mr. Peter Muvumbi, and I hope you guys have picked one or two things, learned something, and gotten to know who he is and what he does as well, for those that were not familiar with Mr. Muvumbi. So once again, thank you so much to Cafe Wani, our venue host as always. Thank you so much to our new and old subscribers. As usual, I'll catch you guys next week on the flip side. Production managers is an S now. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next week.